When it comes to dating single moms that are really about their motherfucking kids, like really about their kids, like live their life for their kids, they will block your ass for any fucking reason. Why? Because like the way that I see it, if I'm taking energy out of myself, if I'm taking energy away from my children, I'm giving you my mommy time. I'm spending time with you. I'm talking to you. I'm giving you energy. You better not give me no bullshit. You better make that shit worth it. Because if it's not, boy, bye.
Bye. Have a great time.
One of my coworkers the other day told me that my standards were too high, that I required too much of a man. I'm never going to find a man if I continue with these standards. Here are my big reasons why my standards are the way they are. For one, I am a woman that has a career. Okay. Number two, I have 3 little boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a compilation of the most entitled woman on earth, or in other words, an episode about single mothers. So let's get started, guys, and let's find out why these women, ironically enough, keep increasing their standards as their value decreases.
When it comes to dating single moms that are really about their motherfucking kids, like really about their kids, like live their life for their kids, they will block your ass for any fucking reason. Why? Because like the way that I see it, if I'm taking energy out of myself, if I'm taking energy away from my children, because really any bit of energy that I give you, I'm taking it away from my children. Any bit of time that I give you is taken away from my children. Yeah, I need a break. Yeah, I could be spending time by myself, but it's a little bit different when I'm giving myself time because, you know, it's just like, mommy time. But now I'm giving you my mommy time. I'm spending time with you. I'm talking to you. I'm giving you energy. You better not give me no bullshit.
Wow, guys, do you feel grateful? I mean, this is God's gift to you, honestly. She's so benevolent, so, you know, generous, so selfless, you know, that she's willing to provide you with her own time. Wow, just the biggest gift on earth. Now, if you ask me, it will be better to just date a woman that already has free time to begin with, you know, and doesn't have children, rather than a woman that has to make time for me. But hey, maybe I'm too picky, you know what I mean?
Better make that shit worth it, because if it's not, boy, bye. I am fulfilled with my children. I am fulfilled at home, in my energy, at peace. I can sit at home and eat my snacks and watch The Grinch with my kids for Christmas time. No.
Okay, then shut up about it and go do that. Like, is this supposed to be the part where we say, no, please don't go? What I'm gonna do without you? Like, first off, if we wanted what you offer, there are millions of single mothers out there, all incredibly narcissistic, just like you, so it's not a big loss. Second thing, do you realize there are women that are way better than you, right? Just way better, even if they are narcissists. Like, I could go date a 20-year-old narcissist. She's still a narcissist and dumb as you, but at least she's younger, you know? At least she doesn't have children that she has to take care of. Her body count is not as big as yours. She hasn't been dating multiple men around looking for attention and validation, you know. Way younger, again, as mentioned, carries less trauma, has more pair bonding ability. You know, it's like, is this supposed to be the part where we somehow lose on something?
Bye, I don't got time. Make that shit worth it. Be for real. For real.
Is anybody else fed up with the dating world in 2023, especially as a single parent, which most of us, if you're dating, I'm sure you are at this point. If you're 30, 40 years old, you're probably a single parent trying to get back in the dating world, like me.
Yeah, and sadly, this is what it has become. Guys, just 100 years ago, I'm 4,000 years old, you can listen to me. Just 100 years ago, we didn't have this. Like women who were above 30 and 40, they were just left out. Nobody will date them. Nobody. And they became like women who were widows. They stayed widows for life in most of the cases. Or women who just didn't pick a man. They stayed single forever. We didn't have this epidemic of entitled single mothers going for the chads, you know, because these women, guys, it's not like they go for also guys who happen to be divorced and, you know, have children of their own. No, They go for the best guys out there, you know, the chads, the extremely attractive or rich guys. It's absolutely pathetic.
Like, yeah. What am I doing at 9:30 on a Tuesday? I'm about to go to bed. Why? My kids get up at 5 a.m. sharp. Yeah. I need to know like a week in advance if you want to do something. Why? Because I need to get a sitter. Yes, you texted me 5 hours ago. I opened it, never responded, and now it's 6 hours later and I'm finally responding, but you think I'm losing interest. No, I just got distracted. Yes, I know we made these plans a week ago and it's the day before our plans and I'm canceling because my sitter backed out. No, I don't want to link up at the bar at 11 o'clock to go drinking, come home at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then get up to my screaming twin toddlers at 5 a.m. That's not a date to me anymore.
I mean, all those things, they just sound like a you problem, if you ask me. And I understand raising children is hard. Nobody said otherwise. People who are watching this and are, you know, parents, they absolutely understand this. But here's the thing, when you're part of a family and you have a loving partner, all those troubles, they bring joy and fulfillment in your life because, you know, you're doing something good. But single guys, you can't pay them enough to deal with your kids and deal with your problems and the consequences of your bad choices. You know, if you had a husband, all this wouldn't be a problem. But you expect other guys to care about your problems? That's, you know, that's when we don't get it. I just don't understand why men have to somehow account for your problems. No, they're just going to choose another woman, right?
No, I don't want you to pop over at my house for a booty call at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have 3 children. I don't need any more booty calls. And no, I don't want to bring the kids with me to go out to dinner. I'd rather just cancel and FaceTime.
All right, Daughters of a Single Mom. I'm going to share a little story with y'all because I feel like it was a funny story and this person doesn't really know my full background to know why my standards are the way they are. But one of my coworkers the other day told me that my standards were too high, that I required too much of a man. I'm never going to find a man if I continue with these standards. For one, I have been through a lot, okay? For two, I have an amazing stepdad, okay? The best stepdad there is in the freaking world, literally.
Now, to address number one, you've been through a lot. That's not a good thing for men. Like, we want the absolute opposite. We want a woman that is free of all these burdens of dating multiple men and having divorces and all those things. Second thing, I'm sure that a lot of guys will be grateful and happy that you have had this stepdad, right? That is really good. I mean, they're really happy. But here comes the kicker. They're not necessarily willing to date your stepdad, right? So why do you mention this? Who cares about your stepdad? Oh, but he was good, so I want someone, you know, equally as good as my stepdad. Well, it begs the question, are you equally as good as the dude's mother? Are you going to be equally as traditional and good? I don't think so. So again, the point of your stepdad just doesn't make no sense, and nobody cares.
This man would jump through hoops to make sure we had everything we needed, okay? He never stops trying to move up in his career. He never stops trying to show my mom he loves her, show us that we are his children, even when we're biologically not his children. Like, I have the prime example of what a great man is, and I'm not going to settle for less than that, okay? Here are my big reasons why my standards are the way they are. For one, I am a woman that has a career. I am driven. I don't just stop. I continue to grow. I continue to improve myself on a daily basis. I acknowledge my shortcomings and I work.
Guys, nobody cares about her having a career. Like, I feel like it's pointless to mention it at this point. But again, they just don't get it through their heads that men don't give a crap about your career. First off, they're not going to get a penny of that, all right? We don't see women paying bills and you buying you stuff and all those things, you know? So Even if they did, I don't think that even men want to, you know, men are absolutely okay with being providers, most of them. So it's not about that. It's just, bro, we don't care. Like, we literally don't care if you make thousands or you work at McDonald's.
Work on them. I go to therapy. I do whatever it takes to never just stay in the same spot.
Going to therapy is not a flex. I hear this so often from women. Oh, I go to therapy. That is not a flex. It just shows you need therapy, which is not necessarily a green flag.
Okay. Number 2, I have 3 little boys. 3 little boys that are one day going to grow up to be husbands. I don't want my children thinking that being a crappy husband is acceptable. So there's no one that's going to come into my life and stay in my life that doesn't treat me like gold. That doesn't
You know, that's a good philosophy, to be honest. But the bad thing is you didn't apply it for your first husband. You know, I wish you'd thought of that before your first engagement. I want a husband that is going to raise my children and be a good father, etc. So she either picked a bad man or she either picked a good man that she later went on to divorce. You know, what an irony. So again, it's like, guys, if all these women that have unreasonably high expectations were to apply them before they spread their legs, before they made all the mistakes, the world will just be a better place, right? We wouldn't have divorces, we wouldn't have all these marital problems, women will stick to their marriages, you know? But no, guys, they make all their mistakes, they fool around, they sleep with all the men that you know, they don't require anything from them, and then when their value decreases tenfold, then they say, well, here are my demands. Here is this long-ass list of 47 demands that are impossible to meet for any human, and you'll have to fulfill them all. You know, essentially paying full price for a used car. This is just clownish, man.
show my children what a good example of a husband and a father is, okay? It's just not gonna happen. Like, I have really high requirements, really high standards, like very high. And there are times that I do tell guys, like, hey, you know, this isn't like a deal breaker, but this is something that I prefer. And it's something that I receive from every guy that I go out with. Like, I don't like to open the car door for myself. When I take my children on little mommy Sundays, guess what? They open the car door for me because they know that as a gentleman, that is what you are supposed to do. So they do that for me. And if my little boys that are young can do that for me, then a grown man should be able to do that for me as well. And I acknowledge if they don't do that for me, that's probably not the person for me. But if they do, like after I say, hey, you know, I know that dating in 2023 is weird, and like some people just think this is weird that you open the door for them, I am not that way. I require that. And so either they do it or they don't, and that lets me know real quick if they're going to respect me and, hey, this is a boundary for me and I really appreciate this, and they'll show me that. Okay. Number 3. My next husband is it. I am not going through this whole marriage divorce thing again. We're going to go through this marriage thing one more time, and that's it. Like, so my standards are high because it's a lifetime. It's not a temporary thing. Marriage was never temporary for me. I'm not going to share that side of my story right now, but I will say that there's only one thing in the Bible that tells you can get divorced for. And that is the reason my marriage ended, okay? But I will say that this next marriage, whoever it is with, whether I've met them or not, I have no idea. It's the end all. It's not going to.
Okay, so it turns out she was the one initiating divorce, but it's because her man cheated on her. And we don't have enough background to analyze why that is. Like, maybe, honestly, the guy is just an a-hole. It could be, you know. We can't rule that out. But on average, you know, just guys they don't go around cheating for no reason at all, or just as a hobby, or just because it's in their nature. Some men cheat, others don't. And yes, we could give her the benefit of the doubt that he acted like he was a good person, but turned out to be an a-hole. But a lot of the times, you can tell, right? A lot of the times you can tell which people are, you know, are likely to cheat on you and which are not. which doesn't go to say that they have it written on their forehead, because of course everyone is surprised when they realize that they've been cheated on. But again, most of the times it's simply because they didn't stop to think in the beginning if this person was likely to cheat or not. It's not like a roulette that well, there's a 50% chance that your partner will cheat. No, it's not a statistic, all right? There is a statistic out there about how many people cheat, but you can avoid that statistic by just picking people that you know are not going to be like this.
Whether I've met them or not, I have no idea. It's the end all. It's not going to be rushed. It's not going to be a fast and furious thing. It is going to be time, because I want to get to know them. I want to know their true character. I don't want to be jaded by the infatuation of someone, because yes, it's great to have those feelings of like, oh, but I'll tell you at the end of the day, if I can't have a true heart-to-heart conversation with you, like a man that I'm, gonna try to spend the rest of my life with, then that's not gonna work out for me, because you got to be able to deal with your emotions and your feelings too. Yeah, so I'm just here to say, women, your standards aren't too high, and I don't care who tells you that you need to lower them because you're never gonna find this unicorn that's out there. So be it then. Just stay single if a man can't reach your level. I'm just saying, like, I would rather sleep in my bed alone than be in a crappy marriage ever again. Just not gonna do it. I would much rather be alone and raise my children all by myself than ever feel more alone in a marriage, because that is the most lonely place you will ever find yourself. So the next time any of y'all want to come at me with telling me my standards are too high, just know I don't care. I'm not lowering them. You just aren't the one if you can't reach my level. It is what it is. No hard feelings, okay? You may have lower standards for yourself, and that's fine, but I'm not going to. And I never will lower them, because I have before, and that led me to a lot of heartbreak. So standards are high for a reason, and you should be proud of high standards, as long as you bring to the table what you're expecting from someone else. So, I mean, don't be expecting this great thing when you bring nothing to the table. Maybe you should get your stuff together before you go into that. Just saying.
So here ends the TikTok, and she gave a little hint at maybe why this guy cheated. She says, I didn't pay attention to red flags. She says, I lowered my standards too much, for the first guy. So probably this guy from afar, you could tell that he's not that clear of a guy. He's not that honest. But this woman dismissed it. And again, I'm not defending him, because cheating is never acceptable. But leave me down a comment, guys, what you think about this woman. Now, what I think is, I feel sorry for her that her husband cheated. It's honestly just disgusting behavior, and no one should witness that or accept that in their lives. So I agree with her divorce. I think you should absolutely divorce someone who's cheating on you. But regarding her standards, look, if you are this person that gives it all and wants an honest relationship and all that, I even understand your standards, right? Because if you give them back, and if you only got divorced because the other person cheated, okay, you can have those standards. My problem with this woman is that there are guys who meet these standards, all right? Not all men on earth have become evil and wicked, to my knowledge. So there are plenty of guys out there around her age, some maybe divorced, some maybe, single dads, some probably single, that meet all those criteria and are honest and open doors. There are gentlemen left, you know what I mean? And this woman being single just speaks to me that she's not being honest about all her standards, because there are probably guys who are treating her well and want to be with her, but she dismisses them probably because of looks. This is my honest opinion, guys. We've heard from women that are 50 years of age, look way worse than this one, have a really bad dating history background, and they still mention how there are a lot of guys who want marriage with them, all right? So the options are out there. Don't you tell me that you have no options. The options are out there. And the fact that this woman is not willing to maybe, you know, lower a little bit of her expectations regarding looks or regarding money or whatever, just speaks to me that she's not being absolutely honest about what her expectations are. But that's my thought, guys. What do you think? I'll leave you off here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.